Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I shall ask them to, the chat box is disabled here or on YouTube Live, Zoom. Okay, so give me a minute. I'll just make sure that it is enabled. Okay, fine. So you can bring your queries, put up your queries in the chat box, or any questions, or even your inputs while I question. You can give your answers here on the chat box. All right. So we shall start today's session. We'll start up with polity topics. So we'll be taking up the first topic as Section 436A of CrPC, Criminal Procedure Code. So this is also related to one more topic, that is money laundering, right? So the article was on Indian Express. We shall see the headlines first, then we will get into the basic topics or what we can extract for our exam. So the news is regarding a PMLA accused who has spent half of maximum sentence as under trial can be given bail. So yarige bail kodabodu anno bagge Supreme Court ittichige ಒಂದು interpretation, or it has given out judgment. So we are going to see that, right? The Supreme Court recently reaffirmed that benefit of Section 436A. Usually in the exam, sections of articles, especially related to CrPC, IPC, they have never been asked. Possibilities are there in state level exams, but never in UPSC. So when it comes to articles, subsections, clauses and all, just focus on the constitution part. Apart from that, nothing else. But these areas are important to understand what is the underlying principle we have in the constitution. So if we speak about this, there is an underlying principle what we can consider as personal liberty. Personal liberty ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬಹುದು. ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ರಿಅಫರ್ಮ್ಡ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಮನಿ ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು provision. Another provision, we will see that. So this criminal procedure code of which is what introduced in 1973. 1973 was introduced through an amendment 2005. E section na 2005 amend ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ 2005 ಅಲ್ಲಿ amend ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಈ section na add ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, right? So it states that an individual, ಈ section ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 436A, it states that an individual who has spent half of the maximum prescribed sentence as an under trial shall be released on bail. So for a person, if that person is undergoing a trial and that person has already completed half of his or her trial, that person can be or shall be released on bail. So bail anta andaga, first thing comes to our mind is, in India we have two types, like a non-bailable offense and bailable offense. Offenses, when we categorize, or whether these offenses can be given bail or not, when we speak of this, we have two categories, that is bailable and non-bailable. So we know that which are the activities or criminal activities or any offenses which are non-bailable. Can you tell me which have bail and non-bailable offenses? It is very simple, wherein severe crimes like murder, right? Murder, arson, drug related, yes, these are non-bailable offense. So non-bailable offense. Bailable offense would be the petty theft, okay, or minor accidents, or these are all come under what you call as bailable offense. So bail ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಯಾರು half of the sentence ಮುಗಿಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ one is Section 436A, the other one is money laundering. What do you understand by money laundering? Can anyone tell me what is money laundering before we understand the act? We are talking about PMLA, refers to Prevention of Money Laundering Act. preventing this money laundering. What is the meaning of money laundering? You can tell in Kannada, black money to white money, as simple as that. Good. So money laundering is nothing but converting the illegally earned money into what it seems to be legal. If at all, we have to elaborate on it. So idra virudha ಒಂದು provision ಇದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ PMLA, even it has been amended also. Okay, to that depth we do not require, but ಒಂದು idea ಇರಬೇಕು ಏನಿದು money laundering act ಅಂತ. Let us get into the details of this article, then we will look into what is money laundering. All right, so section 436A of CrPC 1973, what or which are the provisions it has? It applies during investigation, inquiry or trial under any law except for offenses punishable by death. Okay, so already death trial irovrige bail alla idu. People who are undergoing a trial, apart from this, it will apply to them, not those who've been meant to for what you call as execution ಅಥವಾ death ಗೆ ಇದು ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಉಳಿದಿರುವಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಪ್ರಿಸನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಇದು ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿರೋದಂತ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Allows release on personal bond if detention is up to half of the maximum imprisonment period specified for the offense. So on the personal bond ide. So need not see bail anta andaga we take the help of somebody sometimes, or it can be personal also depending upon the surety. So here this is a provision wherein release is allowed on a personal bond, provided in next provision and provided if the detention is up to half of the maximum imprisonment. ಈಗ 10 years imprisonment ಅಲ್ಲಿ 5 years complete ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ bail ಗೆ ಅರ್ಹತೆ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. Court may extend detention beyond half the period or release on bail after hearing the public prosecutor. So it will be gone to the court. Then once it is heard, it will be allowed. So no person to be detained for more than the maximum imprisonment period during investigation, inquiry or trial. So ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಟೈನ್ ಅವರ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಇಂಪ್ರಿಸನ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುವಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಮನಿ ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಗೆ ನಾವು ಯಾಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ there was a news regarding enforcement directorate, ED. What is ED? Can we call it as statutory body? Is ED statutory body? Enforcement directorate? Yes. So enforcement directorate or ED is a statutory body which is under ministry of which ministry? ED comes under which ministry? Ministry of Finance. ED is a statutory body, or it is an agency that falls under the Ministry of Finance. Basically for what? What is the role of ED in the country, in India? To investigate financial crimes. One example is money laundering. To investigate financial crimes, ED is been established and it comes under Ministry of Finance. So basically they try to implement, or the main function is to implement and enforce the laws related to financial crimes. So that idea should be having. So background of this story is person who are convicted, right, or imprisoned under the Money Laundering Act. Okay, that was there. And one more thing is ED do not have the authority to make an imprisonment unless it is heard by the public prosecutor, and if at all this section of CrPC is applied anta ಒಂದು news it. So there are many people or politicians or people who are involved in these crimes lately. So this is an interpretation or an analysis that was done lately. So what is the constitutional alignment to this particular article? So let me complete this first, then we will go to constitutional alignment. As I already told you, CrPC section ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ, CrPC articles ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ, ಯಾವುದು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. They will only focus on ಈ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಅಥವಾ ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ನರೇಟಿವ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ this also excludes the period of detention due to delays caused by the accused when computing bail eligibility. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ period of detention due to delays caused by the accused when computing bail eligibility. So bail eligibility ನ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡುವ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ period of detention ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಲೇ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. Okay. So Supreme Court interpretation ಏನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 436A applies to special acts as well, even without specific provisions. Special acts ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ? PMLA. We are referring to Prevention of Money Laundering Act. ಇದನ್ನೇ ನಾವೀಗ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ಇಡಿ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕ್ರೈಮ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ. ಸೊ ಇಡಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಯಾರೇ ಒಂದು ಮನಿ ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈಂಗ್ CrPC, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ CrPC ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಟು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತ ಆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಮಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತೀಗ 436A ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಹಾಫ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಪ್ರಿಸನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್? ಸೊ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ CrPC, that was the main interpretation of Supreme Court lately. So this is just for your awareness. But what we have to know better is Prevention of Money Laundering Act andre enu, adradu uddesha enu, what are the provisions. So this act was enacted in the year 2002 to prevent money laundering and confiscate property derived from it. First of all, ee black money na white money ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದನ್ನ ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅದರಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ ಆಸ್ತಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಸ್ಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ನ ತಂದ್ರು. Okay, so that is the main idea of the act. So aims, other secondary aspects are combat money laundering related to illegal activities like drug trafficking, smuggling and terrorism financing. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಈ ಮನಿನ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಈ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕವರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಕೀ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್? ಈ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನಂತ? Offenses and penalties. This defines money laundering offenses with rigorous imprisonment and fines. So, ಈ act ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ those who have been what do you call as found guilty of the illegal activity, they will be subjected to rigorous imprisonment and fines also. Penalty nu irutte anta. So adu bittu property attachment allows attachment and confiscation. Confiscation means acquiring, taking over. Confiscation of property involved in money laundering overseen by an adjudicating authority. Adjudicating here refers to judgment or a court we are referring to. Okay, so if a person is found guilty of money laundering, that person's property will be confiscated under the act. Then reporting requirements mandates entities like banks to maintain transaction records and report suspicious transactions to the Financial Intelligence Unit. So how do we know that this illegal money is being plundered or money laundering is happening? So this act also gives a responsibility to the banks, wherein banks has to keep a track on all the illegal suspicious transactions, and they have to immediately report to Financial Intelligence Unit. This is the very crux of Prevention of Money Laundering Act. But the news is regarding those who have been finished their, again I'm just repeating, those who have been finished their imprisonment, half of their tenure or maybe detention, they can apply for bail and they are allowed to give the bail. So ED or any other act cannot intervene and say no, they have been found guilty under this particular activity and they have to spend their entire term in the jail. Okay, so this act is there, but we are bringing in CrPC section, and or say Supreme Court has brought this up and has mentioned this person can take bail. So one thing is types of bail, and the other thing is understanding the constitutional application or the principle applied here is personal liberty. So personal liberty andre now yav part of the constitution ge apply madbodu? A person's liberty or the citizen's liberty, Article 21 again. So a person has that freedom or the liberty to apply for bail, as in he has completed half of it as per the CrPC code. Now we are talking about renaming CrPC, Indian Evidence Act of 1927, or even IPC. So all these are there, but until this is being brought up completely, the CrPC of 1973 prevails. One ಇನ್ನೊಂದು Prevention of Money Laundering Act na recent amendments ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, changes ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Less likely to be asked in highlights ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ 2023 ದು ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಹೈಲೈಟ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಏನ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಮೇ ಬಿ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲಿಬರಲೈಸ್ಡ್, they have made sure that maybe stringent in some areas, liberalized in some areas, not much of a difference. But before you understand the amendment part, you should be knowing the or having an awareness about this act. That is all it matters. Okay, so from the polity part, this was there. Apart from that, we had related to registration of political parties. Iga election time alli anta iddaga we have a number of political news, right? So that is there. I told you last week also, we are overwhelmed with election related news. That is, you are well aware of. Exam ge sambandha pattiruvantattu, especially article 21 anta iddaga you have to keep a check on it. See, entire article alli ellunu article 21 ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. But the underlying constitutional principle is this. That is what Supreme Court has interpreted. Again, we go back to the same thing. Okay, this is about the polity part. We move on to governance. We are doing that only. Kejriwal's case, any other person, bail bagge. See, Kejriwal, he has been out on bail, but he is supposed to go back. Alva? So, ee tara vishaya, money laundering, we are referring to Kejriwal's case only. And I usually tell you in the class wherein we have to be politically neutral, even though the person's name is evident. As you guessed, the Kejriwal ge sambandha chief minister ge sambandha pattirodante agidruno, we just take the crux part of, core part of it. It can be today this is this person, tomorrow it is somebody else, correct? So we are going to the main point, and as you said, it is correct. Kejriwal's related case only. Okay, then we move on to governance part. PM-WANI athwa ee scheme bagge recent agi news alli ittu. So some idea about what is this scheme all about. So public Wi-Fi hotspots near 2 lakh mark under PM-WANI, how to use internet economically while traveling. So we know that in public spaces, public areas, be it railway stations, bus station, or wherever, today Wi-Fi access is quite easy, and that is because of the scheme called as PM-WANI. PM-WANI stands for Prime Minister Wi-Fi Access Network Interface. Okay, this report says that, the latest report says that 2 lakh people or 2 lakh public Wi-Fi hotspots have been set up, and people are using this. And we know that the consequences or some harmful effects of using public Wi-Fi, but yet the outreach we are talking about because of the scheme, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. So main idea ಏನು, the scheme aims to create a public Wi-Fi network nationwide by setting up Wi-Fi access points through public data offices. So you might have seen or might have experienced, if you visit, if you end up in a certain place, especially railway station would be the best example here. Automatically it will show that there will be suggestions so that you can connect to a Wi-Fi. And this very facility what we are getting is because of a scheme called as PM-WANI. That is what I mean, just an awareness again, just to know. Okay, so we can bring this under governance, and you can also use this as an example in answer writing in mains. So this, what you call as Wi-Fi access points, will use an open architecture system enabling multiple service providers to offer their services to the public through a single platform jote sigutte anta anbittu. Okay, so this is PM-WANI, and some key points regarding it to know about the department and all that. So launched by the Department of Telecommunication by 2020 to offer affordable high-speed internet in rural and remote areas. So ee reetiyadanta points na nevu governance related question keldaga related to technology, you can add the scheme of PM-WANI, which is able to connect with high-speed internet in rural and remote areas. Nonetheless, we can complain about the the speed of the internet and all that, but provided we have the scheme. That is the point here. Okay, so PM-WANI ecosystem comprises public data office aggregator, app provider, and central registry. I'm just reading through this because nothing to go with intense, but cannot take a chance about this, so I'm reading across. So PDOs establish Wi-Fi hotspots and provide internet access without needing a license from the DOT, that is Department of Telecommunication. So PDOs offer authorization and accounting services to PDOs. PDO here refer to Public Data Office, including user interface for plan purchase and data tracking without paying license fees. License fees illadene Wi-Fi connection koduvantaddu. And small shopkeepers can become PDOs. PDO is not a government office basically. It is a shopkeepers last mile internet access obtaining services from PDOAs. Okay, that is public data office aggregator. So this helps to register users, discover nearby PM-WANI Wi-Fi hotspots, authenticate users, provide internet access. Startup and wallet providers can be app providers. So it will use the help of the private players also, not only government. The Department of Telecommunication take the help of the shops and the other people in and around to provide this. So the bottom line is PM-WANI scheme or policy is related to providing internet access in public, that is Wi-Fi we are talking about. And the news is regarding almost in 2 lakh, there are, I mean, it has led to 2 lakh public Wi-Fi hotspots across the country. Illi tanka ishtu agide anta andittu ಒಂದು updation. That's all. Then moving on, one more governance part. We can consider this as ecology also. Recently, this was in news now. I mean, last May 16th, it was there. Solid waste management ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇತ್ತು. Especially, we are talking about Delhi's solid waste management. Okay, so every country, every state will be having their own mechanism to manage solid waste. We do have set of rules ಇದೆ. Solid waste management rules of 2016 ಇದೆ ನಮಗೆ. Okay, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ article ಹಿಂದೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ's mounting waste crisis. We can relate this to recent fire accident. Which place? Ghaziabad. Heard of Ghaziabad's recent crisis, wherein landfills are spitting out fire or it is lit up. So we are relating to this. An elaborate article about managing solid waste or landfills. Okay. So as the national capital, Delhi needs to scale up its processing capacity to manage daily waste. The quantity of waste is expected to increase in the coming years together with per capita waste generation. Over the years, waste generation ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So how equipped Delhi is to grapple with this issue? Recently, the Supreme Court's recent critique of solid waste management in New Delhi underscores a significant concern. Supreme Court itself intervened and said what is the municipal authorities are doing when it comes to solid waste management. So ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಔಟ್ಸ್ಕರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ habitations ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದ್ರ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ how they are affected, maybe the foul smell, maybe diseases, maybe fire accidents. What are the initiatives the government has taken? This is not the very first time Delhi is facing this crisis. I think I've told this in class also. Very long back, a huge heap or a mount, a small hill-like structure was there because of landfill that collapsed on people and people died. That is that was also an incident long back. So New Delhi is grappling with over 3,800 tons per day, TPD and the karitive, of untreated solid waste, posing risk to public health and the environment. So basically, I'll tell you from which part they might ask. Idanna namge mains alli kelo chances irutte. Illa anta andre the very core part of what is solid waste management ಬಗ್ಗೆ. Okay, so these are the highlights. The accumulation of untreated waste in the landfills exacerbates, means increase the problem, necessitating urgent action and attention and action. So iga next question is, what is this untreated waste? What is untreated waste? Untreated waste is nothing but the waste is collected from the households. It ends up on the landfill. Later, it will be collected. Then it will be segregated, recycled, reused, etc. First to dump ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲಿ, it will be in the landfill. Then various bioremediation methods. Very good example is biomining. We have spoken about biomining, right? What is biomining? Biomining is nothing but extracting metals from the waste, or precious metals from the waste is biomining. So in order to take up all this, we have to first address this issue which is already in the landfill or that has been affecting people and the environment. That is the question here. How well are we managing our solid waste. And why are we concerned? Because in India, we have various set of waste management rules: solid waste management, plastic waste management rules, e-waste management rules, biomedical waste management rules, correct? Latest being battery waste management rules. So ishtu set of rules na MOEFCC notify madutte, the central government. But the central government will not go to every nook and corner of the country and will check the waste management is right or not, correct or not. It is up to the state government, because land is a state subject and waste also is related to which ends up on the land. So state will be taking up handling and managing of waste and sewage, etc. In case of failure, or if in the case of non-compliance, ಯಾವಾಗ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತೆ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, so they will be imposed penalty. I am not talking about an industry or an industrialist. We are talking about the state government itself, and that can be done through NGT or even Supreme Court directly. So motively it can take. Usually NGT is a special court to take up this issue, else Supreme Court itself, when it also matters about human life. Because solid waste management jotege innondu navu add madkoltivi, that is again Article 21, which speaks about right to clean and healthy environment. So Supreme Court need not wait for NGT to issue order. It can take up on this provision, right? If you can recollect about NGT's provision, NGT can take up cases. National Green Tribunal can take up cases related to all aspects: Environment Protection Act, Biodiversity Act, Air Act, Water Act, and everything, but not Wildlife Protection Act. Adu bittu baki iruvanta ella, even Forest Conservation Act also, ellanu cases na tagonbodu. Yake antandre Supreme Court has set up this court under what you call as National Green Tribunal Act of 2010 in order to tackle or handle or adjudicate issues related to environment. But now the question might come in, why Supreme Court has given a critique, not NGT? Because as I told you, it is mentioned in Article 21, which speaks about right to clean and healthy environment. So that is the political idea here. So MOFCC, NGT, and Supreme Court are involved here. And the trouble in here is, the problem in here is, why are they not treating the solid waste? So, and there is no mandate that every state should follow the same method. ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದೊಂದ್ ತರ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲೇ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, they will come with the songs or the whistle, or they'll collect and segregate. In some other places already, in metro cities, most of the metro cities, there is something called as user fee anta ide. User fee anta andre those who are dumping the waste, every household ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ waste generate ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಇನ್ನು ನಾವು ವಿಲೇವಾರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆಗ we have to pay certain fees according to the quantity we have generated. I don't know in Bangalore, in which all areas it has already been implemented. It depends on the municipality. Okay, so the state government, major cities, like major states, some of the states like in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and already they're supposed to pay fee, something called as user fee, to the municipal corporation, that we are generating such waste. Illi keltare, ನೀವು ನೋಡಿರಬಹುದು, some people who come, and the garbage collectors who come, the municipal workers who come, some places people will pay them. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಈ ಸ್ಯಾನಿಟರಿ ನ್ಯಾಪ್ಕಿನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಡೈಪರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕೆ they have to pay and give this waste or provide dump this waste. So these things are there, but central government ಇದು ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಆದ್ರೆ when they fail, this is what happened. So mounting waste crisis, ಆಗ central level in the Supreme Court in the intervention ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so this is the background of the article. So let us look into the facts, some of the facts. India, with 18% of the world's population, contributes 12% of global municipal waste. India is the most populous country, and we contribute 12% of the global waste. Just imagine, because of the population, that is understood, and still we are the ones who generate most of the waste. The Energy Resources Institute, TERI, report, one of the reports states that India generates 62 million tons of waste annually. Every year we generate this waste. Approximately 70% of this waste is collected. Ishtrally 70% ನಾವು collect ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, but only 19% is treated, leaving 50% in landfills. Now you get the idea of what is waste being treated and untreated. Treated anta andre already landfill alli irutte, iga dump ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡು dump ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಬೇರೆ methods ಇಂದ bio mining is one method. One more is recycling, segregating or dismantling. So various methods ಇಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ಈಗ ನಾವು bioremediation techniques ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ. Biopiling, bio mining, or maybe biomethanation. So various methods are there using bacteria, right? So it is not actually practically difficult, because it needs much of human personnel or human resource, much of infrastructure, better infrastructure, technology, and investment, everything. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಜಾಗಗಳಲ್ಲಿ they have enough infrastructure to recycle it, segregate and all that. Some places they do not have, some places they do not bother. So 100% ಅಲ್ಲಿ 70% ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದನ್ನ 70% ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 19 to 20%, ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸೇ 20% ಮಾತ್ರ ರೀಸೈಕಲ್, ರೀಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಉಳಿದಿರುವಂತ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಶೇರ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಿಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಲೆಗಸಿ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಾನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. This also I have mentioned in the class. Legacy waste. Legacy waste is nothing but the waste that has ended up on the landfills for many years or for a very long term. And then our legacy waste the kariti alle irutte. So with evolving consumption patterns and rapid economic growth, urban municipal waste generators will have to pay these. So iga ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದೆರಡನ್ನ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಜನರೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು? ಅಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಹೌಸ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಡಸ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಜನರೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಯೂಸರ್ ಫೀ ಟು ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ನಾನೀಗ ಹೇಳ್ದಾಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಟನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಜೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿ ಹೌಸ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ as ಯೂಸರ್ ಫೀ. ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಫೈನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲಿಟರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಾನ್ ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಷನ್. ನೀವು ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಕಸ ಹಾಕುವುದು ಕಂಡು ಬಂದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ದಂಡ ವಿಧಿಸಲಾಗುವುದು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಫೈನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಲಿಟರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಾನ್ ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಷನ್. ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಫೈನ್, ಡ್ರೈ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೆಟ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಫೈನ್. ಬಟ್ ಹೌ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈಯಿಂಗ್ and how much fine has been paid, it is questionable. In some places they are very stringent and strict, it is happening. Not in all places in India. So they are idralli include agutte. Idella meerinu waste generate ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಈ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so what are the challenges? These points you can use it for your mains. ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. Why we are not able to tackle this problem? Poor implementation of rules. Very first and foremost point is poor implementation of rules. Garbage bins in metro cities are old, damaged, or insufficient. Okay, so garbage bins iralla, alli ellello innella kasa hakirtivi, adondu it is damaged or insufficient, ಸಾಕಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಕ್ಷಯ ಪಾತ್ರೆ ತರ ಓವರ್ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ಸಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಷನ್ ಲೀಡ್ಸ್ ಟು ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಎಂಟರಿಂಗ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಿಲ್ಸ್. ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ದಿದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್, ವೆಟ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್, ಡ್ರೈ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಿಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಿಲ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ large huge place where we dump waste. Some areas lack regular waste collection services, leading to waste build-up and littering. ಒಂದೊಂದ್ ಕಡೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಸ ತಗೊಳಕ್ಕೇನೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಡಂಪ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Problem of dumping sites. Waste processing plants in metro cities face land scarcity. Land iralla, so dumping sites iralla. Untreated waste leads to environmental hazards like methane emission and landfill fires. One good example is this Gazipura, I guess, right? So recent landfill fires ಆಗಿರುವಂತದ್ದು. ಯಾಕೆ landfill ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫೈರ್ ಯಾಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮೀಥೇನ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್, ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಡಿವೈಸಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಲಿಥಿಯಂ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬೇರೆದು ಡಿಕಂಪೋಸ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಡಿಕಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೀಥೇನ್ ಎಮಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮೀಥೇನ್ ಎಮಿಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಈಸಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಫೈರ್ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಪ್. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನಫ್ things to catch up fire, so entire place will turn into a disaster, right? So that will lead into it. And biomining efforts initiated in 2019 are projected for completion by 2026. Biomining at the start madidare, but it is not so effective. And lack of data collection mechanism. Private companies struggle to assess cost and benefits without historical or regional data. And the lack of data ide anta anbiಟ್ಟು. See, ನೀವು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇನ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೇನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರೆದ್ರು ಸಾಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ ಲೈನರ್ ಬರೆದ್ರು ಸಾಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನೇ ಬರ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಆದಷ್ಟು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಬರೆದ್ರು ಸಾಕು. ಪೂರ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್, ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಂಪಿಂಗ್ ಸೈಟ್ಸ್, that is how you write, so that you will add more information with few words. Okay, so formal and informal waste management system. Municipal waste collection falls short in low income areas filled by the informal sector. Now rat pickers ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಅವರು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, waste collection ಇರಲ್ಲ. And it also leads to health risk and child labor. You have seen in movies, documentaries, or even in real life, wherein it will also induce or promote child labor. That is also there. Lack of public awareness. Eshte awareness kodru, this is also a trouble wherein challenges ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದು ಕಮ್ಮಿ, ತೀರಾ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈವನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ programs that has been conducted. So these are the problems. That is why the author says in this article, these are the challenges for Delhi's mounting waste crisis. Today, Delhi is one city, but there are many other cities with this problem. But some cities do better. Okay, so ಈ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಬರೀಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, so it has been taught in class also. Solid waste management rules. Under this, waste is segregated into 3 divisions: wet waste, dry waste, domestic hazardous waste, or organic waste, or biodegradable waste, non-biodegradable, and what do you call as domestic hazardous waste. So, and also it comes under MOEFCC, the ministry, and which act? Environment Protection Act of 1986. Okay, this is the basic, but this is the mains from the mains perspective. So we move on to, let's take up one geography topic. It is regarding volcanoes. Okay, there will be one or the other volcano erupting in different places. So throughout the year there will be just a minute. So volcanoes erupt in different places, and throughout the year we'll be having volcanoes in news. But one has to go back to basics, types of volcanoes ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು. Okay, so let's look into this news and we will understand what type of volcano this is. So it is in Indonesia's mountain Ibu erupted again recently in the Halmahera Island. So the eruption sent a grey ash cloud into the sky. There's just a description. News ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. 7 neighboring villages were evacuated following the eruption. And Indonesia, one thing we have to understand is, or we have to keep in mind is, it is part of Pacific Ring of Fire. ನೀವು ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಲ್ವಾ, Pacific Ring of Fire is known for active volcanoes. We should be knowing, you have to locate on the map Pacific Ring of Fire ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, especially the Pacific Ocean only, ಅಲ್ವಾ? Indonesia, Australia, Indonesia, Japan, North America. So entire region we have this Pacific Ocean, north and south. E region alli namge Pacific Ring of Fire barutte. That means it is known for active volcanoes, land of volcanoes. So entire region, this entire region, especially Indonesia, last throughout the year we had n number of volcanoes. ಒಂದು ಈ ಜಾಗದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ volcanoes itself. Can you tell me types of volcanoes, whatever you have remembered? Types of volcanoes. It can be active, dormant, and based on the eruption. And we can also say that based on the way the magma or the lava that comes out from the earth's core, ಆ basis ಮೇಲೂ ನಮಗೆ types of volcano ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Can you recollect and tell me? Meanwhile, we see these points. So the Ibu volcano is an active stratovolcano. It is an active volcano plus stratovolcano. What is stratovolcano? Any idea regarding this, or if you can recollect and tell me? what are stratovolcano or some features of stratovolcano. Active is no, that is like we know that. What is that? Constant eruption that happens, right? In India also we have an active volcano that is in Andaman in Barren Island. One day active volcano irodu. So dormant anta andre in the recent years adu erupt agilladiruvantaddಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು dormant ಅಂತ ಅಂತೀವಿ. Active ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಎರಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಟು ಟೈಮ್. ಅದೇ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟೋ ವಾಲ್ಕೆನೋ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Okay, you can think and tell me. Situated on the northwest coast of Halmahera Island of Indonesia. In its activities are part of sequences of eruption involving various volcanoes in Indonesia. Indonesia dalle volcanoes erupt ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, and it is also located on Pacific Ring of Fire. ಇದು basic details. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಗೆ Pacific Ring of Fire ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು types of volcano. So anyway, we will just revise this. I have brought up stratovolcanoes for your revision. So volcanoes ಅಲ್ಲಿ cinder cone, composite, shield, and lava dome types. The way the crater is formed, the magma that oozes out, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ basis ಮೇಲೆ ಈ volcano ನ classify ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So stratovolcano ಇವಾಗ ಏನ್ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ, Mount Ibu is a stratovolcano, is a composite volcano. You can see in the second image here, right? Cinder cone ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ cone shaped ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So it erupts from the magma chamber, reaches near the vent and oozes out direct ಆಗಿ ಮೇಲಿಂದ. ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಕನೋ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸಿಂಡರ್ ಕೋನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ one cone shaped structure ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಕನೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it gives out branches. You can see there is not only the vent on the opening part on the top of the volcanoes here, but also sideways. Side vent ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ, vent ಅಂದ್ರೆ opening of volcano. So you can see the lava is a fluid lava according to the index given, red fluid lava plus viscous lava. Viscous is like the movement, not only erupts. See this one cinder, it blasts out, but what happens in composite, it reaches to the top in side vents, through side vents also, then it is viscous, it flows through various region. When it comes to shield volcano ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, central vent ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ, then slowly oozes out side vent ಇಂದ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ. And lava dome ಅಲ್ಲಿ a huge crater is created, a dome like structure is created, that is why it is called as lava dome. But the news is regarding composite volcano. We will speak about stratovolcano. For you have to revisit types of volcano and basic features. ಈಗ ಒಂದು volcano types ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದರದ್ದು ಫೀಚರ್ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಇಮೇಜ್ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆ, try to revise from your notes or NCRT, whichever, and make sure that keep one particular point, one unique point in your mind. So ತಕ್ಷಣ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. Should be able to recollect and tell. So stratovolcanoes to feature ನೋಡೋಣ. A stratovolcano, also known as composite volcano, has a conical shape. So ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Strato is composite, if not least conical, formed by layers of volcanic material from successive eruptions. Adu conical irutte, but how it is different from cinder cone yakantandre adu side vents irilla, idra side vents irutte stratodalli athwa composite alli. These volcanoes slope gently at the base but rise quickly near the summit. Base inda erupt agbekare slow ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, but summit reach ಆದಾಗ, vent reach ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, they what you call as erupt. Okay, so but rise quickly near the summit, forming tall peaks ಅಥವಾ erupt ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹತ್ರ vent ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. They are often found above subduction zones and are part of large volcanically active regions like ring of fire around the Pacific Ocean. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತ ವಾಲ್ಕೆನೋನ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟೋ ವಾಲ್ಕೆನೋ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಕೆನೋನ Pacific Ring of Fire ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. Stratovolcanoes build up height through layering of lava, ash, and tephra with alternating layers of pyroclastic material and lava. Everything that is part of the magma lava we are talking about. Examples of stratovolcanoes include Nevado del Ruiz and Ubinas in the Andes Mountains of Colombia. ಇದೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So I would suggest you that know the types of volcano. Keep in mind the difference between, at least take up one particular feature of the volcano and also examples. This is how you might have learned in the class also, but time to revise for you. Okay. And because throughout the year, we'll be having at least few volcanoes in news, especially Indonesia, near Hawaii, Central America. These are the two areas which is prominently seen. So it's better to know about them. Okay. Then moving on, I brought up one more. This is under governance and science and tech. It is for a general awareness. I have brought up this packaged food ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು article it. We will see what is it and why it matters to us. So ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, and the National Institute of Nutrition stress the significance of scrutinizing food labels to mitigate health hazards. So now we ಏನು packaged food ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಂತೀವಿ, ಸೊ ಅದರದ್ದು food label ನ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. So the recent report offers dietary guidelines emphasizing the importance of discerning deceptive claims on packaged foods for fostering healthy eating habits. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿಸರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸೆಪ್ಟಿವ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವೇಟಿವ್ಸ್, ನೋ ಶುಗರ್, ಝೀರೋ ಶುಗರ್ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ನಿಜನ ಅಥವಾ ಫೇಕ್ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜ್ ಫುಡ್ಸ್ ಎನಿವೇ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ಹೆಲ್ದಿ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ಬರ್ಡನ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಈ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ 17 dietary guidelines says that ಒಂದು ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೈಡ್ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 56%, ಅಂದ್ರೆ half of the disease is caused by cause of packaged food, processed food. Okay, so we'll see some of the key points regarding this. So guidelines emphasize moderation in consumption of ಏನೆಲ್ಲ key points ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. Moderation ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಯಿಲ್, ಫ್ಯಾಟ್, ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಶುಗರ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ರೆಕಮೆಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ಅ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಡಯಟ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟ್ ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಒಬೇಸಿಟಿ. ಇದು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಟು ಫಾಲೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ದ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸೀಸ್, ಹೈಪರ್ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೈಪ್ 2 ಡಯಾಬಿಟಿಸ್. ಅಡ್ವೊಕೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ರೋನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಆಫ್ 8 ಫುಡ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ದ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಲ್ಟ್ರಾ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ಡ್ ಫುಡ್ಸ್ ಹೈ ಇನ್ ಶುಗರ್, ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ಈಗ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಬೆಟರ್ ಟು ಈಟ್ ಅ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಡ್ರಿಂಕ್ ಅ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಶುಗರ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಡ್ ಫುಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಶೆಲ್ಫ್ ಲೈಫ್ ನ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಡಸಂಟ್ ಮೀನ್ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಆಸ್ ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಫುಡ್. ಸೊ ಗಾನ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಡೇಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಇನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಫುಡ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ that is the reality today. We are not able to do it yet. We have to make healthy choices anta. Make sure that check the food labels. Ingredients anta kottirtaralva alli what is been added. So munde zero added sugar anta, alli added sugar anta alli irutte, allunu irutte. So most of the times we do not see that, we just purchase. That would be the trouble. So discourage the use of protein supplements to enhance muscle mass. Muscle mass increase agli anta protein supplements ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪೌಡರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಅದು ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜ್ಡ್. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜ್ ಫುಡ್ಸ್. ಪೌಡರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಶೇಕ್, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ವಿ ಸೇ, ಎನ್ಹಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಸಲ್ ಮಾಸ್. ರಾದರ್ we should go for the natural way of increasing muscle mass, which we get in the food itself. ಸಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋ ಬದಲು ಡಯಟರಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಡಯಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನೋಟ್ ದಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಸಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಇನ್ ಮಸಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೈಜ್ with potential health risk like bone mineral loss and kidney damage. Andre now people say that maybe people would deny this fact, saying that protein supplements ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ muscle mass improve ಆಗೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ನೋಟಿಸೇಬಲ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅದರದ್ದು ಕಾನ್ಸಿಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಏನು, ಬೋನ್ ಮಿನರಲ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಿಡ್ನಿ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆಗೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಲೀಡ್ ಟು ಕಿಡ್ನಿ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್. ದಟ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಗೈಡ್ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ ICMR. ಓಕೆ, benefits for populations include access to additional nutritious food for pregnant women and new mothers to support overall health for the mother and the baby. So nutrition is a great challenge today. We can see current reality is from past few years, at least 2-3 years, and the hunger index agirbodu, nutrition level agirbodu, it may be in the childhood or when it comes to mother or the babies or even the adult health anta nodidaga India is falling back when it comes to nutrition. So why is this happening? Maybe because of we are more convenient with instant packaged processed food. where we are neglecting these, and that is why guidelines have been issued. Okay, timely guidelines will be issued. We could say, people would say ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ವಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್. ಇದನ್ನ ಈ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ನ ನಾವು ಯಾಕೆ ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, this would be asked in essay type questions or maybe mains itself again. So we have a combination of current affairs of mains and prelims. Prelims ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಎರಡೂ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆರ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್. ಎಂಟೈರ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ topics alli prati varana there will be one news where it creates awareness to you rather than for the exam alone. That also matters here. That is why this topic. So we'll go to the next word or next terminology. We can consider this as Indian economy kelige topic kelige ತಗೊಂಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ science and techno ತಗೊಂಬೋದು. There was a term mentioned in the news called as pig butchering ಅಂತ. Pig butchering ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ I've been telling you in economics, especially Indian economy ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಕೇಳಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ that is been seen in news, and they would ask what is the meaning of this, or definitions will be given, or maybe direct statements will be given. So any trending words of Indian economy part, you should be knowing about it. Okay, so pig butchering anta ittu. Let's see what is it. An online financial fraud. Pig butchering is nothing but online fraud. Online fraud ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಹೆಸರುಗಳಿದೆ, ಈಗ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೊಂದು pig butchering ಅಂತ are increasing across the globe, including India. It is also known as Shah Zoo Pan scam. It's a type of online investment fraud that involves scammers create fake online personas to lure victims into fraudulent investment schemes. Investment alli invest ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ, ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮ್, ವಾಟ್ಸ್ಆಪ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು. ಸೊ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಥದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ ನಡೆಸುವಂಥದ್ದು. We will see the mechanism anyway, but ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಸರು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, pig butchering ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, why we are calling that, we will see. The term pig butchering comes from the scammers' practice of fattening up their victims by building trust over time before slaughtering them and stealing their money. ಯಾಕೆ pig butchering ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, particularly say when for all the non-vegetarians, so when we have livestock at home, before we want to consume them, it may be chicken, it may be sheep or goat or pig, whatever it is. So what we do is we feed them enough ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಫೀಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಫೀಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇ ತಿನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಫೀಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಏನು ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗೇನು ಸಾಕಲ್ಲ, anyway we are going to consume it, we are going to eat it. So the very idea of feeding them with good food is because for our benefit. So adinna illi refer madidare. So it is quite funny. So pig butchering comes from the scammers' practice of fattening up their victims. Fattening ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಊಟ ಏನು ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಒಬ್ರೊಬ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ನಂಬಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಇದು ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ರಿಯಲ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಾಧ್ಯನೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ನಂಬ್ಸೋದು, ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ವೇ ಅಲ್ಲ ತನಕ ಇನ್ನೇನ್ ನಂಬಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮೋಸ ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪಿಗ್ ಬುಚ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ ಸ್ಟೀಲಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್ ಮನಿ. ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್. So the host initiates contact with the potential victims online through social media, dating apps, or deceptive messages. Okay, the target referring to as pig is identified as, and a fake sense of friendship is established. First friendship establish ಮಾಡಿ, it may be social media, it may be dating apps, messages. The host encourages the target to explore cryptocurrency trading. Bitcoins related no encourage ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಹೇಳೋದು, ಇವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಕಾಯಿನ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದು ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟೋ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿನೇ, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಲಾಭ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳೋದು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಶಿಪ್, ದೆನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟೋ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ. A fraudulent trading app is used to deceive the victim into believing they are making profits from the fake trades. So trading app nu ತೋರ್ಸೋದು, ನೋಡಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಫೇಕ್ ಏನೋ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಇದಾಗಿದೆ, how do you call us, profit ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. Recently, I'll tell you one example. Recently, I heard that in somewhere in Tamil Nadu, I guess, I don't know where it is actually, potentially it is situated, but one ad, I heard from one of my friends wherein pilot training ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಪೈಲಟ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ನೋ ಏರೋನಾಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಬೇಡ, ಏನು ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಬೇಡ, ಏನು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಏನು ಬೇಡ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗುದು ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಓಡಿಸೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪೈಲಟ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪೇ 500 ಫಾರ್ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ತುಂಬಾ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. 500 ಆದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಪೈಲಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ? 500 ಗೆ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿ ಆ ನಂತರ ಯು ಮರ್ಚೆಂಟ್ ನೇವಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅದು. ಮರ್ಚೆಂಟ್ ನೇವಿ ಒಂದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇದು ಈಗ ಕಾರ್ಗೋ ಪೈಲಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ನಾಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಡೊಮೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಏರ್ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಕಾರ್ಗೋ ಈ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನ್ಸ್ ಪೈಲಟ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂತ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಮೋನಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಜನರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ವಿ were recruited to this airlines and all that. By the looks of it, you will understand it is like their talks are different, the language is different, body language is different, and the work they are telling is totally different. But there are people who still believe it. They say, okay, I would become so and so. So that is a trouble here. So first thing is like this. Ade ಈಗ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ 500 ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಫೀಸ್. ದೆನ್ ಈಗ ಒಂದು 10,000 ಜನರು ಅಥವಾ 1,00,000 ಜನರು 500 rupees ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? Then there will be no communication. Okay. So as the victims' trust grows, the host persuades them to invest more money, a tactic known as fattening the pig. I told you. Once ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಸೊ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ವಿಕ್ಟಿಮ್ಸ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಟು ವಿಡ್ರಾ ದೇರ್ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್, ಅವಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಫಂಡ್ ವಿಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ either they will make excuses or impose a substantial fees revealing the scam. ಅವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ರಿಫಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಫೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ some random things. Now you are like in a sandwiched position, neither here nor there. So recovering lost funds is exceedingly difficult due to the nature of blockchain transaction. ಈ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಗಾಗ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಚೈನ್. So India has not legalized any cryptocurrencies. Blockchain transactions ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? There is no trace of any of the transaction. So person will be what you call as deceived. So ಈ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ ನಾವು ಪಿಗ್ ಬುಚರಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Again, this is, and especially this is more related to stock market. This all started from stock market. Investment, exclusively investment. Bere enu alla. What examples I told you in general scam I am telling you. This pig butchering is related to stock market scam for the investment, where people show this fraudulent trading apps, make them invest in various trades or stocks or shares, and then cheat them. Okay, remember the word. Then we'll move on to Project Astra. I think it is pronounced as that only. It is not Astra, if I'm not wrong. Astra. So Google's Project Astra. The reason I took up this because there was a question asked in the past in prelims. That is Project Loon anta ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. Project Loon anta. Project LOON. That was also Google's project, wherein this is a balloon, okay, or maybe a parachute kind of a thing, where it actually provides internet facility in the remote areas anta ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇತ್ತು long back. So ಅದು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅದೇ ವರ್ಷ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. I'm just connecting to that pattern and I'm bringing this up because some Google's project is been asked in the past. So basic question, maybe in state level exam allu kelbodu. Project Astra, the objective of Project Astra is related to what or which companies? That's why this has been brought up. Anyway, we will understand this, and everybody knows about ChatGPT. So it is a collaboration, we can say. OpenAI's GPT-4o version and Google's Project Astra make real life strides. So let's see that. At the company's annual developer conference, Google unveiled an early version of Project Astra. Recently it was unveiled. Google has named it Project Astra, a real-time multimodal AI assistant capable of visual perception, object recall, and even code verification through a smartphone camera. ಈಗ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಾವು ಚಾಟ್ ಜಿಪಿಟಿ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಈ ವರ್ಷನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ even I think Google's Gemini, all this already is able, they are able to understand the commands and they would give out the proper outputs. But today this Project Astra is regarding real-time multimodal. So even through a smartphone camera, you don't have to literally type and ask. If you click something and say, for example, it's like you click a picture of a cookie or some dish, some food item. So this model, AI model, would give up suggestions regarding how to prepare that or what is the recipe of that cookie, giving a broader, a better information. Instead, with even before you ask them what do you want or the recipe, because you're showing some food dish or some cookie or some whichever food item, and it gives out to you an idea about the recipe itself or give you an output about recipe itself. That is what we call as multimodal project. So ee ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತ project Astra ಇದು. Okay, let us look into key points. So project Astra is new multimodal AI agent developed by Google. It can answer real-time questions using text, video, images, and speech inputs. ಈಗ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಿರುವಂತ models AI ಏನಿದೆ, we will type certain questions and we will get in the text format. ಈಗ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ not only text, real-time questions through text, video, images, and speech. Okay, so it has a straightforward voice without emotional range, like a recorded voice. Project Astra is not limited to smartphones and can also be used with smart glasses. Smart glasses, if at all one has, it can be used with that also. So the AI is designed to learn about the world, providing a human assistant-like experience. So already namge iga Google image search ide. Enaru navu image kottu search madidre, it will give us the all details related images ಬಗ್ಗೆ idea kodutte. But ee project ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, if you ask questions, it gives all the version of the answers, speech alli, image alli, video dalli, text alli. So better than the before ChatGPT or Gemini, whatsoever. So just keep in mind, Project Astra is related to or developed by Google. What is it? It is a multimodal AI, artificial intelligence agent. As simple as that. Just factual news we can consider. So moving on for the agricultural part. Agriculture. So we have heard about the terms such as wetlands, wastelands, and all. There is a new term here, rangelands. What are these rangelands? How are they different from grasslands, wetlands, wastelands, etc.? So less likely we have heard about this, correct? Usually namdu syllabus alla ಏನು ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀವಿ, wetlands, even wasteland ಅಂತನೂ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀರ, wasteland, grassland alla ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. So what is this and why it is related to agriculture? Let's see that. So the topic says, or the news says, rangelands are facing a silent demise, suffering losses as high as 50%. So there was a new report, recent report by United Nations that reveals that up to 50% of the world's rangelands are degraded, nearly double the previous estimates of 20 to 35%. Okay. So the Land Outlook report reveals that previous estimates significantly understand rangeland degradation, which could be as high as 50%, according to over 60 experts from over more than 40 countries. First, now highlights, then we will understand what is a rangeland. Then you'll understand better. The Global Land Outlook thematic report on rangelands, pastoralists, was released on May 21st, 2024 by the UNCCD. That is what you have to look into. UNCCD is a convention. UNCCD is a convention which has its origin in Agenda 21. If people remember that we have discussed in the class. And Agenda 21 was published under Rio Earth Summit 1992. Right? So UNCCD is a convention which speaks about desertification. Desertification is nothing but drying up of land because of lack of moisture. And this report was actually released, or especially they are focusing on rangelands. It was released by UNCCD convention recently, last week, okay, or this week. So this is the highlight from the article. This article was given on Down to Earth, and let us look into what are rangelands. So rangelands are natural grasslands. It is not totally different from the grasslands, but we add an additional point saying that these are natural grasslands It is not wild, though they are called as natural grasslands, but are used by livestock and wild animals for grazing and foraging. Especially, these are the places wherein it is used by ಗೋಮಾಳ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದಾಗ ಅದೊಂದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಗೋಮಾಳ ಅಂತ ನಾವ್ ಏನ್ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ a land that is not owned by anybody but people use it for grazing of livestock. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ರೇಂಜ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ adjacent places where wild animals and livestock be seen. Hope you got the point. ಈ ಗೋಮಾಳ ಅನ್ನೋ ಜಾಗ ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಜಾಗಗಳೆಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್, wherein people enter these grassland taking their livestock, and also these are not only used by grazing animals, that is domestic animals, but also wild animals. Hope you got the point. Did you understand? That was your question. Okay. So vegetation includes tall grass prairies, steppes, desert shrublands. You can see the different types of grasslands here we have discussed. We have tropical and temperate grassland, correct? So tall grass prairies, steppes, deserts, shrublands, shrub woodlands, savannas, chaparrals, and tundra. So rangelands is not specific to particular region. Tundra grassland in the Hindu, prairies that are temperate, steppes temperate, or savannas tropical. So ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಜಾಗಗಳು ಈ ರೇಂಜ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ರೇಂಜ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, because it falls between it is a line wherein, or it's an ecosystem wherein both domestic and wild animals be seen grazing. Okay, so rangelands cover about half of the Earth's land surface and half of Western North America. So North America dalli ardha iruvanta jagane range land anta elli ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, fact. And in also rest of the places also we have ಈ ರೇಂಜ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಮಾಚಲ್ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲೂ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಹಿಮಾಚಲ್, ಜಮ್ಮು ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರದಲ್ಲೂ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಪೀಪಲ್, I mean especially the shepherds, will take their sheep or livestock high up in the mountains, wherein that place is shared by both wild animals as well as domestic animals. Okay, but specifically North America dalli half of the Western North America is filled with rangeland. Yake degradation ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? Why it is degrading? Because the report says so. Alva 50% ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಡಿಕ್ಲೈನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. Reasons are conversion to cropland and other land use changes due to population growth and urban expansion. That is common. That is why it happens. That is how it happens in other places also, the other ecosystem also. Rising demands for food, fiber, and fuel. Excessive grazing also matters, because North America, andrane, it is known for livestock rearing. So excessive grazing, excess population, excessive grazing, abandonment. Andre yaru use madde iddaganu, it will lead to degradation. Yake antandre, ಈಗ domestic animals ಮತ್ತು grazing animals na ನಾವು ಅಥವಾ ಏನು toad animals na ನಾವು ungulates ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. UNGULATES, ungulates. These ungulates, when they graze, they even defecate there. The excretion will also be there. So there is a constant regeneration or regrowing of the grass, which keeps the grassland healthy, provided the grazing is minimal and sustainable. So abandonment, nobody is using it, is also a form of degradation. Next is policies incentivizing over exploitation. So allowing, andre ಏನಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂನ್ ಆಗಿ ರೇಂಜ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ನ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಈವನ್ what you call as using it for various government purposes ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇದರಿಂದ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, not only for the people, for the livestock, but also wild animals. So that is what the report says. For your general understanding on the awareness, it is a new introduction of the word you might have never heard before. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೇಂಜ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. Okay, maybe this prelims we may not expect because it is already May now, but in the upcoming years we might see more news on this range lands on over. Okay, let's see the significance, why it matters to us. So rangelands are used for livestock forage, wildlife habitat. I told you both are there. See, livestock, domestic ide, wildlife habitat. For water and mineral resources, there can be small streams that can flow nearby places. Wood products, wild land recreation. Maybe you can convert that into any protected area, open space and natural beauty for the aesthetic value also. These are the significance. So they are an important economic engine in many countries and play a crucial role in defining cultures also. Prairies anta andaga, there are certain tribes, indigenous people. Steppes anta bandaga, we have Mongoloids, those people. Savannas, we have or Masai Mara. Ee jagadalella culturallu ಅವರು related ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. So rangelands are home to 1/4 of the world's languages and numerous world heritage sites. Tourism ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು, language plus heritage. They have shaped the value system, customs and identities of pastoralists for thousands of years. So pastoralists are nothing but or none but who take care of their livestock, and rangeland is considered as their homeland. They are there for many years, thousands of years. So wherein they have their own customs and practices over there, the cultural value we are talking about. And 2 billion people, including small scale herders, ranchers, and farmers who are often poor and marginalized, depend on healthy rangelands worldwide. Iga livestock ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, but enough space is not there for their livestock to graze. So how you said, it is almost like community land only, ಗೋಮಾಳ ತರನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, but ಅದೇ ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ. So ಯಾರು poor farmers or small farmers, marginalized farmers can make use of this rangeland. These are the importance. Okay, looking into a broader perspective. This is just for your understanding. Wherein ಅಥವಾ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಈ ರೀತಿನೂ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. Supports biodiversity, helps in water and mineral resources or groundwater recharge, provides food and fiber, enhances the presence of wildlife, and they can work as or they can act as excellent carbon sinks, holding carbon, okay, because of the vegetation. So these are the ecosystem services of rangeland. This can be part of agriculture or even ecology, environment. Okay, so we will move on to other topics also. Let's take a small break and we will continue. Yes, I'm going to give. We will take a break and we will continue. We'll get back by 45. Let's continue. So next topic is related to, or we can consider it as protected areas in news, but the news is regarding a plant species, and also we can take up three aspects from this news. One is the plant species, name of the plant species, what kind of plant species are these, and the tribe name, and the place or the protected area. Most very important. So the Therospermum luciarum, that is the name of the plant species here. And the name of the national park is Fangphui National Park in Mizoram. So researchers have recently discovered a rare hemiparasitic terrestrial plant known as Therospermum luciarum. So we have heard about, or we know what are parasites or parasitic. Parasites means one which depends on the other. But what are hemiparasites? Rather than asking about the name, the scientific name of the plant, the question would go to hemiparasites, or at times simply parasitic plants. Okay, or maybe the name of the national park, or maybe the tribes which are in use. So let's look into all the three aspects in this. So the discovery of this new species was documented in a respected plant taxonomy journal called Phytotaxa. ಒಂದು ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕವರ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಇದೊಂದು ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಜರ್ನಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ನಾವು ಹೆಮಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So as I already told you, parasites are which are dependent on other, or we call parasite and host, parasitism, biotic interaction ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ವಿ, parasite and host. So speaking of which, we have to understand what is this plant and what is so special about hemiparasitic. So this newly discovered species of hemiparasitic terrestrial plant lacks a fully developed root system. ಈ ಹೊಸ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಏನಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೂಟ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, and establishes connections with other plants to obtain water and minerals. So basically ಯಾಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಹೆಮಿಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, it has chlorophyll. Okay, I'll come to that second point. First, we will see it do not have, let us list out the features like this. It do not have root system, fully developed root system illa, one feature. Okay. Then it establishes connections with the other plants to obtain water and minerals. Andre dependency. Adike adana parasitic anta karitivi. These plants possess chlorophyll and conduct photosynthesis to produce their own food, with some exhibiting limited growth independent of their host plant. ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಉಳಿದಿರುವಂತ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ, ಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್ ನ ತಗೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. But this plant do not have a fully developed root system, but it does have a chlorophyll, or hemiparasites we are talking about in general. Okay, hemiparasites will lack a fully developed root system, but it has chlorophyll, but it focuses on, it takes up nutrition from the host plant, plus they also produce their own food. So balancing both. Specialized structure called host area enable these plants to tap into the sap conducting tissue of their host. So ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, host area ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಸ್ಯಾಪ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಸ, we are talking about. So they have the capacity to absorb that sap or the juice or the liquid from the other plants. So this very plant, luciarum, attaches itself to the roots of its hosts, resembling typical soil growing plants. So ನಾವಾಗ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೂಟ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇದೇನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಗೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ರೂಟ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿ, ಆಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೀಮ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ ರೂಟ್ಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ರೂಟ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇನಫ್ ರೂಟ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಹೆಮಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನಾಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಕ್, ನಾಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್. Okay, so flowering occurs exclusively from this. ಈಗ ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, luciarum flowering occurs exclusively from July to September, with fruit production observed between August and October. The specific epithet luciarum plays homage to the Lushai tribe of Mizoram. ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಹೆಸರು ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ luciarum ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, it is connected to a very popular tribe of the state of Mizoram called as Lushai. So that's the name for this plant species. So less likely to be asked about this very complicated word. Rather, there are chances to be asked regarding the tribal news or maybe the national park or the protected area. Let's look into the national park first, protected area, then we'll move on to the tribal related. Or maybe let me bring up this to you. I just added this example so that you can understand the difference between parasitic and hemiparasitic. The popular two examples of parasitic plants are, can you identify this one? World's largest flower. Which is the world's largest flower, which is in Indonesia, Southeast Asia. Any idea? Rafflesia. Rafflesia is the largest flower plant of the flower. Okay, so this is in the Southeast Asian islands now, especially Indonesia. Gives a very rotten, foul-smelling flower. It is okay. It directly grows underneath from the ground. You can't ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಅಬ್ಸಾರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಬೇರೆ ಟ್ರೀ ಇಂದ. ಸೊ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ನಾವು ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹೆಮಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಕ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. ಹೆಮಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಪೊಸೆಸ್ ಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್, ಮಶ್ರೂಮ್ ತರ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ರೂಟ್ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಮಶ್ರೂಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸ್ಯಾಪ್ರೋಫೈಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದೇನಂತಂದ್ರೆ and they also belong to fungi family. But this a flower plant. But the thing is, this flower or this plant do not possess or do not have chlorophyll. So they absorb nutrients from the other plants totally. The entire nutrition siguvantade bere plant inda. Okay? Or smaller insects. Illi madhyadalli nectar irutte. So they will absorb small insects where they consume secretive juices and they digest it. And one more example is Cuscuta or Cuscuta plant. Idina you nodirtare ittichige ee plant illa. So you have seen that yellow thread like structures which grow on the other plants, which completely surrounds the other plant. Have you seen this? This is a very common plant. ಈ ಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇಲಿ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ವ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೆಳೆದಿರುತ್ತಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ, Cuscuta ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ ನಾವು. Cuscuta plant, again, it is a creeper-like plant. It is also an example of hemiella parasitic plant. Example of parasitic plant. There are many examples. I thought these could be the most popular and the relevant ones. One is the largest flower in the world. Other one is the commonly found parasitic plant. Okay. So parasitism, parasitic, parasites. This is the basic words what you have to look into ecology. But the news is regarding the special or a very new or a newly discovered species, plant species in Mizoram, which is named after the tribe, Lushai tribe. And which national park it is in? It is in Phang Phui National Park. Okay, I don't know whether I'm pronouncing it right. Maybe the northeastern pronunciation would be different. Yet, let us understand the basic details about this protected area. So it is located in the Longklai district of Mizoram towards the southeast bordering Myanmar. So actually, this particular national park Myanmar na border madutte. Mizoram borders Myanmar. Okay, Mizoram borders Myanmar, wherein this national park also forms this bordering area, found in this bordering area, located. It derives from its name from the Phang Phui mountain, the highest peak in the state. Yake national park ga hesru antandre Mizoram alli highest peak Phang Phui. So it is named after this mountain, this national park. It covers an area of 50 square kilometers, including the mountain, the cliffs, and the patches of natural grass. This is how it looks like. This is the image of this national park, okay, in Mizoram. The park is also called as Phang Phui Blue Mountain National Park, as the mountainous region of Phang Phui is often covered by a thin layer of clouds, which makes it blue in appearance from a distance. Okay, blue mountains, Lushai region ನಾವು Lushai hills ಅಂತಾನೂ ಒಂದಿದೆ, ನೀವು geography ಓದಿರ್ಬೋದು. Lushai hills. So ಇದು blue mountains ಅಂತಾನೂ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು, because totally always covered with clouds. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ. So the flora of Phang Phui mostly includes grasses, orchids, tropical region ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ orchids, trees of rhododendrons. Rhododendrons are the short, stunted growth of like small plants which has very shortened growth. And oak trees also found in here. Fauna, animals of birds of the bandaga, variety of bird life, including blitz tragopan. Tragopan is a bird. Dark rump swift, Mrs. Hume's pheasant, again bird, and Mizoram state bird, which is a Mizoram state bird, Hume's pheasant, and endangered mammoths like slow loris. We have lorises in the southern India also, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, lorises ಇದೆ. Lorises andre it is a primate which a very large eyes, ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಣ್ಣು ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಡು ಪಾಪ ಅಂತ ಏನೋ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸ್ಲೋ ಲೋರಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೌತ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಘಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಘಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಮಿಜೋರಾಂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಟೈಗರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್, ಲೆಪರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್. ಮಿಜೋರಾಂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಟೈಗರ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್, ದಾಂಪಾ ಟೈಗರ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್, ದಾಂಪಾ, if at all you want to remember, Mizoram ಅಲ್ಲಿ popular tiger reserve is Dampa. Then it has leopard cat. In the last class we have discussed about leopard cat, hope you remember leopard cats. But Sero is like a herbivore. Goral, Asiatic black bear, stump tail macaque, and capped langur, all the primates, monkeys. So it is known for this. Doesn't mean that Nilagiri mountain or something, Blue Mountain, for example. No. They would not go for Blue Hills anta karitare, mountain alla. Lushai Hills na Blue Hills anta karitare. Nilgiri na because of the cloud. Okay. So not specifically they would go for asking such easy questions. Even if it is asked out, nimge full details kotirtare, extra additional kotirtare. Yakandre ಯಾವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಾಲಜೀಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಜಾಗಗಳಿಗೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಜಾಗಗಳು ಒಂದೇ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆದಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಲೆಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ಲಿ ಟು ಬಿ ಆಸ್ಟ್, ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ವರಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್. ನೀಲ್ಗಿರೀಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಇದೆರಡನ್ನು ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮೋರ್ ಓವರ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದೇ ವುಡ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಮಿಜೋರಾಂ ಇರುವಂತ ಜಾಗ, ಸ್ಪಾಟ್, ಜಿಯೋಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್, ನಾರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಮಿಜೋರಾಂ, ಬಾರ್ಡರಿಂಗ್ Myanmar. So all this matters. I'm sure you might have learned in geography about Lushai Hills, Blue Hills anta karitiv now, Lushai anta. Again, it is also named after the tribe as well. So Blue Mountain National Park antanu karitar. This one, this particular area you're talking about. Okay. So why do we read about flora and fauna? Because somewhere when you hear about the flora and fauna, okay, somewhere you hear about flora and fauna, e particular species illi ide anta over a period of time, because of the repetition you are able to identify. Okay, so idella ನಾವು ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವಾಗ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಓದಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, because of constant repetition, it will be for easy to remember. So first time itself you don't have to learn. We continuously maybe we might see in the future regarding some other national parks in Northeast. So you might take a minute. Okay, if this is found in a particular state, there are chances it is found in the neighboring state also. Likewise, if they are endemic, it is understood. So these are the logical deductions we make in the exam. It's not that we have to by heart. Nilgiri Hills is because of Nilkuranji flower. Yes. Don't worry about this blue thing and all that. ತುಂಬಾ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅವರ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ಸ್ ನ ಹಿಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಬ್ಲೂ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ? ಕ್ಲೌಡಿನೆಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್, ಟಚಿಂಗ್ ದ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಮೇಘಾಲಯ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದ್ರು ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಮೇಘಾಲಯ ಆಸ್ ಅಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಮೇಘಾಲಯ, ಮೇಘ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ನೇಮ್ ನ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಕಡೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ that will not be asked in the exam. You don't have to worry about it. But general awareness. So the national park aitu, let's speak about the tribe. So Lushais are also known as Mizos. Lushai tribe are also known as Mizos, belong to the Kukichin group of the tribes, with a significant population concentrated in the Kanchanpur subdivision of the North Tripura district. Basically, ee Lushai annoru Mizo tribe. So ethnically categorized as Mongoloid, they number around 4,777 individuals in Tripura. Tripuradallu idare ivaru, Mizoram alli matra alla, Tripuradallu idare. But ee flower na Lushite tribe, it has been derived from the name is given because of the tribe or the place itself. But these tribes are in Mizoram. Also, their settlements are also found in Tripura, North Tripura, bordering area, just to know the location. So traditional occupations include jhum cultivation, orange farming, and they have expertise in orange production. These places, these people. Historically, Lushites were also known for a head hunting community. Now, Nagaland athwa Nagas ke head hunting anta karitive. I mean, literally, they're killing people, and head hunting is a common trait to show their warrior skills or their bravery. But during the early 19th century, many converted to Christianity, a religion still widely followed among them. So today, Mizoram is mostly majority. It's a Christian populated state. The bamboo dance, this is most important. This art and cultural ನೀವು add ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿರಬಹುದು ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ವಿಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ. So bamboo dance, also known as Cherau dance, is a popular cultural tradition among Lushites, both nationally and internationally. How they dance upon these bamboos, and the people will be holding, guys will be holding, the men will be holding the bamboos, and girls how they dance, or sometimes couple dance also. Lushites boast a relatively high literacy rate compared to other minor tribes in Tripura, with a significant number engaged in government jobs in various economic sectors. Mizoram is most progressive state in Northeast. Mizoram and Tripura, both. So they are also known for their literacy, unlike the other tribes. Tribe and antakshana illiteracy anta heltivi, but these are the most progressive tribes anta helbodu. Okay, in sense of education. So know the place, Tripura as well as Mizoram, these tribes. And we were talking about the flower here. See, so many topics in one news. Flower, hemiparasitic, key terms you have to remember. The flower name, plant name, hemiparasitic. What are hemiparasitics? They possess chlorophyll, they'll be having chlorophyll, they will conduct photosynthesis, but their root systems are not so well developed, because that is why they're dependent on others. That is why they're called as hemiparasites. Parasites are nothing but, other parasitic plants are nothing but they lack chlorophyll, so they depend on other plants for the nutrition. That is the difference. And this national park is in Mizoram, and the tribe associated are Lushite tribe. Next is regarding the species in news. Himalayan ibex mattu bharal. These two very news. Recently, when the census start madidare Himachal Pradesh alli, adikoskara the news alli ide. And why we have to focus on these two animals? Because these are the two main prey base, or the animals for as a prey for snow leopard. Ittichige snow leopard assessment, population assessment aitu. So for the healthy growth or the healthy population growth of snow leopard, they need a better prey base, and they are nothing but Himalayan ibex and bharal. Himalayan ibex, both are herbivores. Okay, we will see both the animals in detail, but let's look into the highlights. So wildlife authorities in Himachal Pradesh, Lahore and Spiti district have begun a census to estimate the population of the blue sheep and Himalayan ibex, key prey for the snow leopards. Either do prey base. Field staff from Nature Conservation Foundation and Wildlife Division. Nature Conservation Foundation is the NGO. Wildlife Division of Spiti. Namge gottu wildlife division andre enu anta. We have learned the hierarchy. Alva? Pratiyondu district na wildlife athwa jagana wildlife division anta ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. And I think that will be authorized by Chief Wildlife Warden. So government mattu ಒಂದು NGO collaboration ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ survey conduct ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. The survey will cover the district's challenging terrain bordering Chinese controlled Tibet. Himachal, the northern Himachal, which borders Tibet region, ಈ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ survey ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ these goats, or sorry, the herbivores are found on the very higher altitude region. That's why this census has begun there. Just begun, not yet to see the numbers. Okay. So Himalayan ibex, this animal is Himalayan ibex. You can see literally it's a goat. So Himalayan ibex is the subspecies of the Siberian ibex. Remember, Himalayan ibex antandre goat anta neapkedkoli, mountain goat anta. Mountain goat. Dependent upon the region, we call it as whether it is Himalayan, Nilgiri ibex antane ide, athwa Siberian ibex atra. native to the Himalayan region of India, Pakistan, Tibet, and Nepal. Ibex is a common word. Region-wise adana use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. So, yes, it's wild. Both Himalayan ibex and bharal, both are wild goats. Inhabit high altitude regions of the Himalayas, including Trans-Himalayan region. Trans-Himalayan region ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Tibet ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Tibet region na ನಾವು Trans-Himalayan region ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, mountains. Elevations 3000 to 5800 meters ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದು. Found in India primarily in Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. These three Himalayan states ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ Himalayan ibex ಇದೆ. This is a subspecies of Siberian ibex. Features, some of the features: males are larger than females. They have huge curved horns with notches that grow each year. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇನ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ, this ಸ್ಪೆಷಾಲಿಟಿ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ರಿಪ್ಸ್ ತರ ಏನಿದೆ, ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಈ ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷನೂ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. That is its speciality. Okay, so light brown to reddish brown coat with a white belly irutte and black and white leg markings. Color ranges from pale brown, basically brown ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಿದ್ದು, reddish brown, okay, to dark brown with a darker dorsal stripe. Usually found in small herds, sometimes around 50 individuals. ಒಂದು herd ಜೊತೆನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ. Basically on the mountain. ಈ ಹಿಂದೆ ನೀವು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ ಏನ್ ನೋಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ, ಗ್ರಾಸಸ್ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸ್ನೋ ಲೆಪರ್ಡ್ ನ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. If we have enough Himalayan ibex prey base, then snow leopards population will improve ಅಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸ್ನೋ ಲೆಪರ್ಡ್ ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುವಂತ ಆಹಾರ ಇದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆನಿಮಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ prey base is ಬರಾಲ್ ಆರ್ ಬ್ಲೂ ಶೀಪ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಹಾರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಹಾರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ ಇದ್ರ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಸೈಜ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಐರನಿ ಇಸ್, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೆಸರು ಬ್ಲೂ ಶೀಪ್ ಅಂತ. ಬರಾಲ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೆಸರು ಹಿಮಾಲಯನ್ ಬ್ಲೂ ಶೀಪ್ ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ದ ಐರನಿ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೀದರ್ ಶೀಪ್ ನಾರ್ ಬ್ಲೂ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫನ್ನಿ. ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್, as you can see, it is simply gray, alva brownish agide, gray agide. But when they stand in the sun, when sunshine falls on the fur, it gives a bluish hue, on light tinge kodutte, blue color kodutte, maybe the reflection or maybe the fur, skin, whatsoever. So adikkoskara adanna blue sheep anta. ದೂರದಿಂದ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ bluish ಅಥವಾ grayish blue ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ blue sheep ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Okay, so the distribution found in India, Bhutan, China. These are the three countries. Other countries, Myanmar, Nepal, and Pakistan. China dalli specific ಹೆಸರುಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಾಗಗಳು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. That doesn't matter. Just remember India, Bhutan, China, Myanmar, Nepal, and Pakistan. So ishtu adradu extension. Okay, and also you can see it till Myanmar tanka, alli tanka Himalayan ranges ellide, alli tanka ನಾವು blue sheep na ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ distribution. Males are larger than females. Idrallu ashte. Slate gray coat with bluish shine, white underparts and backs of legs, black chest and front of legs. Ishtu specific beda. Nimge akasmat next time elladru kelidre at least imagine, picturize ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕಷ್ಟೆ. Upward growing horns that curve out and back. Active throughout the day. These are diurnal. Adu diurnal because grazing animals are usually diurnal. Alternating between feeding and resting on grassy mountain slopes. Mountain slopes alle irutte. Their hoofs are made like this to walk on the, take a hold or the grip on the mountains. So IUCN is least concern and schedule 1 alli protect agide. I think this is also ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಓದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು near threatened. ಯಾವುದು? Himalayan ibex ಅಂದ್ರೆ both are out of threatened categories. ನಾವು IUCN ಓದಿದೀವಲ್ವಾ? Extinct in the wild, extinct. Then we have critically endangered, then we have vulnerable, near threatened, least concern. So compared to Himalayan ibex, blue sheep compare madidre, near threatened is at the highest category. Andre adradu population kammi ide, blue sheep compare madidre. Bharals, okay, bharals are least concern, means abundant population ide anta. So even this also I have mentioned, annually a snow leopard can prey upon 10 to 15 bharals in a year. Bari bharal ಮಾತ್ರ, ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ small mammals, Himalayan ibex ಎಲ್ಲ ಉಳಿದಿರುವಂತದ್ದು. So main prey base for snow leopard is bharal. Keep this in mind. Okay, so this is about the species. Then we move on to international relations. So India, Middle East, Europe, Europe Economic Corridor anta recent agi there were talks that was held. Idenu mattu mapping nodona ನಾವು ಏನಿದು corridor, ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ start ಆಗುತ್ತೆ and what is the objective of this. A delegation from India recently visited UAE for the inaugural discussion with key entities there regarding the India Middle East Europe Economic Corridor. India, Middle East, Europe. So from India to Europe connection corridor. So recent agi ಒಂದು meeting ಆಯ್ತಂತ. At the G20 meeting in New Delhi, a memorandum of understanding was signed between the European Union and 7 countries, that is India, US, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, France, Germany and Italy. ಇದರ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Asia, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ India is there. Anyway, India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದೆಲ್ಲ countries ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. Which are the countries come under this meeting? So we have India, US is also included, though it is ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯುರೋಪ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೂ ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ US ಇದೆ. Saudi Arabia, Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Middle East, France, Germany, Italy, Europe. But US is also included here. Okay. The corridor aims to establish a reliable and cost-efficient cross-border ship-to-rail transit network, complementing existing maritime routes. So, idea ಏನು? Ship-to-rail transit network. Shipping route plus railways. Okay. Sometimes ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಮಿಡಲ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್, ಯುರೋಪ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದಾಗ sometimes US ನನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿ. ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇದೆ, ಮಿಡಲ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಯುರೋಪ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ US ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಒಂದೊಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಈ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ವೆರಿ ಈಸಿ ಟು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಿಡಲ್ ಈಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಅಥವಾ ಅಮೆರಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾವ್ದು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೂ US ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. Okay, ಈ talks ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಈ corridor, economic corridor ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So let's look into the map and understand better what is this all about. So the map, this map shows, you can look into the map here. India, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮುಂಬೈ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾಂಡ್ಲಾ, both ports ಇಂದ. Okay, so sea route ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, shipping routes. Then once it ends up on the land, it is what do you call as roadways, that is rail line. Then again when it ends up on the water, it will be shipping routes. It is a combination of shipping and rail link. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ship rail link project ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. The map shows the multiple routes being considered for the India Middle East EU corridor. Indian ports on the west coast of India could be connected to 5 shortlisted ports in West Asia. ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವುದು, ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ನೋಡೋಣ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಡ್ಲಾ ಮತ್ತು ಮುಂಬೈ, if I'm not wrong, ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, we'll see which are the places. So objectives include enhancing efficiency, reducing costs, securing regional supply chains, improving trade accessibility, fostering economic cooperation, creating employment opportunities, and decreasing greenhouse gas emission. So ishtu objectives idralli. Okay. So the IMEEC will consist of 2 distinct corridors: an east corridor linking India to the Gulf, and northern corridor Gulf to Europe. ಎರಡು corridor ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. First India to the Gulf nation, then Gulf to Europe. 2 distinct corridors you can see in the image. The specific features include a shipping route. Okay, it is not Kandla, I guess it is Mundra port. Okay, Mundra. Connecting Mumbai and Mundra. Kandla illa illi, Kandla just mention ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. Maybe in future they are going to do it. Let us see the map first. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಲೂ ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ಲೂ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆರಡು. ಈಗ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆರಡು, ನಾಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್. ಮುಂಬೈ ಮತ್ತು ಮುಂಡ್ರಾ ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಗುಜರಾತ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಮುಂಡ್ರಾ ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಗುಜರಾತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮುಂಬೈ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ದೀಸ್ 2 places with UAE. And a rail network linking UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan to the Israeli port of Haifa. Haifa can be important. We have Haifa here. Israel port, Haifa. Remember that one also. Reaching the Mediterranean Sea. Akade Mediterranean Sea. Haifa will be connected by the sea to the port of Piraeus in Greece, facilitating access to Europe. So, illi India to Gulf, UAE in the Jordan to the Israeli to Greece. So all in the enter agutte. In addition to transport infrastructure, undersea cables will enable data exchange, while long distance hydrogen pipelines will support participants' climate and decarbonization objective. India ge the matter agutte yake antandre, it is a route or a connecting route for India to connect to West Asia plus European nations. Illinda. Because the connectivity begins here. So it matters a lot for India's diaspora, for the economic cooperation, and also the trade routes will be eased up. Not only that, trade as accessibility matra alla, economic cooperation, supply chains, cost cutting, creating employment opportunities, etc. So that is why this matters. This particular region matters. As of now, it has come up now. Maybe mapping ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ just a brief idea about which are the 2 ports in India which are part of this corridor, IMEEC corridor. Mundra port in Gujarat and Mumbai. Okay. So yes, this is what we have for today under international relations and everything. So we are done with today's class. Any questions you have? Hope you did not have problem with the asking questions and chat box and all that. Any questions you have, you can ask, or else we shall wind up. Now, okay, you just remind them. I'll also remind them. Okay. So we'll meet you in the next class. Thank you so much. Okay, and take care.